Good morning, Rockingham School. It's really lovely to be able to join with you in your Harvest Assembly. I'm sorry that we're not able to meet together in church at the moment because of the pandemic, but nevertheless, it's just lovely to join with you at this time. Now, harvest, as you know, it's a very special time of year, and for hundreds of years people have gathered together at harvest time when they've gathered all the crops in from the fields and harvested all the food, and there's a celebration to thank God for all that we have, for God's provision for us. And it's also a time when we all share together as well, when we share what we have with others. Yet sometimes we forget to be thankful and we often take things for granted. But harvest time is a time to stop, to think and to say thank you for all the lovely things that we have all around us and for this beautiful planet that God's actually given to us to look after and to care for. Now, a great way that you've been celebrating this time of year has been through a couple of projects that you've been doing at school, where you've been inviting people to donate towards the food bank, and you've also been asking people to recycle, particularly recycle warm winter clothing, winter coats. That's absolutely fantastic. Well done for taking part in that. And it's something that when we heard about it at church, we were delighted that you were doing this, and so we've also joined in that with you. We've also been collecting for the food bank, and we've also been collecting winter clothing for children. There's something really good about recycling what we have, being thankful for what we have, and sharing what we have with others. Now, there's something else that we've been doing here down the road at St Mary's this harvest time, and it's perhaps a bit of an unusual thing to do at harvest time, but it's connected with this. That's a bit unusual, isn't it, to show a picture of toilet rolls. But what we've actually been doing at St Mary's for harvest time is we've been collecting funds, asking for donations towards our toilet appeal. And it's not for toilets here at St Mary's, it's for toilets on the other side of the world almost. Because these days with the pandemic, we've heard such a lot about how we have to have really good hand hygiene, keep our hands washed, to keep nice and clean, and to do that often and to do it regularly. And one of the times, of course, that we often wash our hands is when we go to the toilet. So just think about your own homes at the moment. Think about how many toilets you've got at home. And think about how many toilets you might have in school. You might have one loo at home, you might have two, you might have more. You might have 10 toilets at school, you might have 20, you might have more than that altogether. But in some parts of Africa and in other countries that go through really hard times, there are some homes, there are some schools, there are some villages that have no toilet facility at all, that don't have any access to clean water at all. Imagine what that must be like, that if you need to go to the loo and you have to go and dive behind a bush or something like that. It's not very nice, is it? So at harvest time, we've been encouraging people, you know, each time you wash your hands, each time you go to the loo, to think about those that don't have those facilities. And if you can, we've been asking people to help us fund some toilets for homes, for villages, for schools overseas. Now, we thought we might possibly raise enough to fund one toilet, but I can tell you it's gone at least 10 times that, what we've been able to do. So all of us, with our appeals to help one another, to show that we care for one another, to be thankful for what we have, That's about us being a harvest time people. So thank you for all that you're doing at the school to help and to bless others. And I hope it's not too long until we're able to meet once again right here in St Mary's. Have a wonderful harvest time, and I hope to see you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.
I see farming fields and growing crops. And I think to myself, a wonderful world. I see yummy carrots and garden peas. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see pumpkins and cabbages. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see autumn leaves and thankful people. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see lots of fruit to share. I think to myself, what a wonderful harvest. When all the clouds are sleeping, I've gone to bed. Oh, jumps and scarecrow, shout that when you out. I am a jingle jangle scarecrow, a flipping bum, a Christian, a handwriting, a shampoo, a feet, a thing. When all the hens are roosted, a lesson that running behind the cows. Jumps a scarecrow and shouts out, there we go. I'm a finger dangle with roof off the top.
Every year at Buckingham Junior School, our families show how caring and generous they are by donating food for us to share among our community.
All of the food together and divide it into parcels. We give these parcels for people to enjoy over the autumn months. In America, they celebrate Thanksgiving around the same time as we celebrate harvest.
They gather together as families to share a meal and remind themselves of all the things they should be thankful for.
I'm thankful I always have something to eat every day and never go hungry.
I am thankful that I have a safe, warm house to live in.
Thankful for how lucky I am to have some things to play with. Thankful that I have such a lovely family who are there whenever I need them. In West Africa, there is a festival of yams to celebrate the yam harvest. Yams are a bit like sweet potatoes and are popular mashed. Astronomy Day holds Oktoberfest, which celebrates the end of the grape harvest. Soy grapes is as many delicious, healthy snacks, but many grapes are made into wine. In India, there are many different harvest festivals as different areas grow different foods. This includes rice in the south and Weetabix in the north. Animals are also decorated as part of the celebrations. In Scotland, they celebrate the harvest festival known as Lammas, meaning of loaf of mass.
Loaf of bread is made from the first harvest of wheat. It is then taken to the church to be eaten.
We hope you have We hope you enjoy learning about harvests around the world. For being a part of our harvest celebration.
The traveller reached the top of the hill. He put down the bag he was carrying. He was very tired. He had walked a long way. But now, at last he was there. Down in the valley he could see 4 little houses in a little village.
Yes, this is the village I was told about. I hope they let me help them.
He bent down and picked up the heavy bag again. He would be glad to empty it out. He walked down into the village. He knocked on the door of the first house.
Good day, I am very hungry. Would you please give me something to eat?
The man shook his head.
I can't give you anything. I'm not rich enough. In fact, the only thing I have is a bag of carrots and I need them.
The traveller shook his head sadly and walked to the next house. He knocked on the door.
I am very hungry. Would you please give me something to eat?
The man shook his head.
I can't give you anything. I'm not rich enough. In fact, the only thing I have is a bag of onions and I need them.
The traveller shook his head sadly and walked to the next house. He knocked on the door. Good day, I am very hungry. Would you please give me something to eat? The man and daughter shook their heads.
We can't give you anything. We're not rich enough. In fact, the only thing we have is a bag of peppers and we need them.
The traveller shook his head sadly and walked to the next house. He knocked on the door.
I am very hungry. Would you please give me something to eat?
The 2 brothers shook their head.
We can't give you anything. We're not rich enough. In fact, the only thing we have is a bag of sweet potatoes and we need them.
The traveller shook his head sadly and walked back to the middle of the village.
He sat down under the big tree that grew there and took off his heavy bag. The man watched from the window of the first house. The traveller reached into his bag and took out some sticks. The woman watched from the window of the second house. Quickly the traveller made a fire. The father and the daughter watched from the window of the third house.
The traveller went into the bag again and brought out a cooking pot. The 2 brothers watched from the window from the 4th house.
The traveller took out a bottle, took off the top and poured some water into the cooking pot. Then the traveller took out a large stone from his bag. He rubbed it carefully with his hands and made sure it was clean. He put it in the water very carefully. Everybody watched him. The traveller heard the door of the first house open. The man came across to him.
What are you doing?
I am making myself some soup with my magic stone. Doesn't it smell good?
The man sniffed. He couldn't smell anything. I would be happy to share it with you, of course. It would taste so much better with carrots.
I have some carrots.
He hurried home. He came back with a bunch of carrots and threw them into his pot.
Will it be ready soon?
Oh yes, it will be ready soon and it will taste wonderful.
The 2 men watched the water as it bubbled in the pot. The traveller heard the door of the second house open. The man came across to him. What are you doing?
I am making some soup with my magic stone. Doesn't it smell good?
The man sniffed. He could smell nothing.
I will be happy to share it with you, of course. It would taste so much better with onions.
I have some onions. He hurried home. He came back with a bunch of onions and threw them into the pot. Will it be ready soon?
Oh yes, it will be ready soon and it will taste wonderful.
They all watched the water as it bubbled in the pot.
The traveller heard the door of the third house open. The father and his daughter came across to him. What are you doing?
I am making myself some soup with my magic stone. Doesn't it smell good?
The father and daughter sniffed. They could smell something.
I would be happy to share with you, of course. It would taste so much better with peppers. We have some peppers.
They hurried home. They came back with a bunch of peppers and threw them into the pot.
Will it be ready soon?
Oh yes, it will be ready soon and it will taste wonderful. They all watched the water as it bubbled in the pot.
The travellers heard the door of the fourth house open. The two brothers came across to him.
What are you doing?
I am making some soup with my magic stone. Doesn't it smell good? The two brothers sniffed. They could smell the soup.
I would be happy to share it with you, of course. It would taste so much better with sweet potatoes.
We have some sweet potatoes.
They hurried home. They came back with a bunch of sweet potatoes and threw them into the pot. Will it be ready soon?
Oh yes, it will be ready soon and it will taste wonderful.
They all watched the water as it bubbled in the pot.
At last the soup was ready. All the villagers fetched their bowls and the traveller got his bowl out of his bag. He poured some soup into each bowl and they all sat down under the great tree and enjoyed the soup. This is very good soup.
Yes, the best we've ever tasted.
We all must do this again.
The traveller smiled. He washed his cooking pot under the tap. He put it back into his bag. He made sure the fire was safely out. Then he walked away quietly.
Harvest. Harvest is a time to celebrate and say thank you for the good things the world provides. In 2WB we made autumn wreaths. The wreath is circular, it has no end and no beginning, and symbols togetherness and growth. We hope you like our creation.
After discussing harvest, we looked at the people involved getting our food from the farm to our plate.
We then looked at the journey of a banana and all the people involved.
The bananas are grown, washed and cleaned at the farms or in the factories.
People work hard to ensure bananas are cooled quickly. Workers are involved in sending bananas all around the world. This can take weeks to transport, and it is important that they are kept cool. In the UK, people are working hard to make sure they are high quality to deliver the local shops and to ensure supermarkets can supply and sell the fruit.
All winter through I bow my head beneath the driving rain. The north wind powders me with snow and blows me black again.
At midnight, neath a maze of stars, I flame with glittering rhyme.
And stand above the stubble, stiff as mail at morning prime.
But when that child called spring and all his host of children come,
Scattering their buds and dew upon these acres of my home.
Some rapture in my rags awakes, I lift void eyes and scan. The sky for crows, those ravening foes of my strange master man.
I watch him striding lamp behind his clashing team and know.
Soon will the weeks push body high and once lay sterile snow.
soon I shall gaze across the sea of sun-begotten grain, which my unflinching hath sealed for harvest once again.
6B have enjoyed making their scarecrows in class.
We would like to invite Rockingham children and families to create their own scarecrows for our new yearly competition. You have until Tuesday, 3rd of November. Bring your scarecrows in on this date to your class teacher. They will then go on display around school in 3 categories: early years, Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2. We will judge your scarecrows on Wednesday, 3rd of November. Prizes will be given for the winner of each of the year group category. Come on, have a go at a scarecrow.
Welcome to 12P's Harvest Poems and Harvest Pictures. We hope you enjoy them.
Poem. I can see hot chocolate. I can see red leaves. I can see blackberries. I can hear tweeting birds. I can hear roaring fire. I can hear candles flickering. I can smell sweet pumpkins. I can smell fresh vegetables. I can smell wet leaves.
We know that Harvest Festival is a celebration of the food grown on the land, and we thought hard about this when creating our pictures and our poems.
I can see floating leaves. I can see glowing pumpkins. I can see flashing lights. I can hear beautiful birds. I can hear fast wind. I can hear echoing woodpeckers. I can smell creamy hot chocolate. I can smell burning fires. I can smell soggy
Harvest is when food is gathered. Apples falling to the ground.
Ripe and ready all around.
Vegetables for us all to eat.
Eager friends come here to meet.
Sharing all the food we have together.
Thanking the Lord for the lovely weather.